Hi, ladies. Sherry Lutz Harrington with Women Surviving Financial Abuse and Strong Women Thriving. And I'm back with part 2 of 2 on goals for this new year. So I'm super excited you're all here. And I hope you're excited about the new year and what your life looks like coming up. And because we're talking about recovering from financial abuse, and that is always our focus, I thought let's talk about what are the kind of the big 5 steps you need to take financially to get to recovery, if you will. And to me, I see it as starting at the beginning is number one thing you need to set your goal at. If you're just coming out of it, you're just sort of like, oh my gosh, I don't know what ends up. Your goal should be living within your means. And that's going to be different for everyone, but it means more income than expenses, right? Get them in balance. It can be difficult if you're coming out of a relationship where you've acquired a lot of debt or you don't have a skill set and a great job. You're going to have to go back to the first video and look at the SMART goals and break it down into, okay, what does that mean for me? How can I live within my means? And it might be, that's the number one goal. And then you have 3 or 5 sub goals that get you there, right? The second thing I would say on your road to recover would be to pay off debt. If you come out of a relationship with debt, it's like an anchor holding you back. Once you cut the rope on an anchor and drop that anchor, your boat can sail. It can go free. So get rid of that debt. It frees up a whole bunch of money that you can do all kinds of other stuff with. But you might have to pay it off. So part of your goal setting then would be, that might be my big goal. How am I going to do it? What debt do I have? What interest rate do I owe it? What are the payments on it? Which one do I need to get rid of first? What is my strategy to specifically pay off my debt? That would be a way to break it down into more bite-sized pieces, if you will. The third thing would be to build an emergency fund. The recommendation is always 3 to 6 months worth of 1 month of expenses, of what your cost of living is for 1 month. Multiply that by 3 to 6. That's your savings goal. That's a big goal. So start with 1 month. Can you build up 1 month's worth of emergency fund so that if you have an emergency, and unfortunately life is full of them, that you can pay for it and you don't need to go back and use those credit cards and get back into debt, right? It's being your own bank instead of depending on a credit card with a high interest rate. Use your own skills to build that money up. Look for the best savings account you can get. Figure out the steps you need to take to get there, put a date on it, and work backwards to get to that accomplishment. Once you get to 1 month, then you can strive for 2 and 3 and reevaluate how much further you need to go in that savings before you go to number 4, which is to a long-term savings towards other goals. If you want to buy a house, you're not going to be able to do that unless you start planning for it. Remember, dreams stay dreams until you turn them into goals. You want to buy a house. Let's just say you want to buy a house. That sounds great. Let's buy a house. Okay, how do we get there? Well, you're going to have some savings to make a down payment. A lot of firms will start FHA loans, start 3 1/3% down. So you figure out what is the kind of house I want to buy and what would 3 1/3 of the cost be. And that's your goal. And I'm going to target my savings into a long-term savings account, hopefully a high yield one, so you can make as much money on your money as possible and move the needle forward towards that goal. Put a date on it, put a timeline on it, use those SMART goals we talked about in the last video. Try to figure out how best to get there. Then number 5, once you've kind of laid out those first 4, and this is like particular to you, where are you on your journey? Which of these are really, what step are you at? And where do you need to focus? Is about investing and retirement planning, because you can't really ever stop working towards the future. And as women that we live longer and we get paid less, it's super important that we start that planning as early as necessarily mean you have to pay off all of your debt. If you have a mortgage loan and it's 3 1/3 and your investments are at 10%, it makes no sense to pay off the mortgage. Keep investing that money, especially if you're behind. I hear this a lot. I went through it myself. When you get out of a relationship and a financially abusive situation, you may not come out with retirement savings or anything to set you up for the future. So you need to get on that quickly. And it might be that you pick your 3 or 5 goals off of this list and then focus on them in this coming year. But I just wanted to share this with you. I think it's really important you remember you should be trying to live within your means, paying off debt, building an emergency savings fund, building long-term savings, and working towards investing in retirement. All of those things are part of being a financially savvy woman, which I know you can be, and that's why you're here. So thank you so much for being part of Strong Women Thriving, for being a part of this group, Women Surviving Financial Abuse. Together, we are stronger. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you for supporting this mission. Thank you for being part of this. Please give us your feedback. Tell us what you want to hear. We're working all the time on trying to make this as beneficial to you as the members as we can. And on that front, of course, we appreciate it if you share this information with anyone you know who could use it, because it's about getting that message out as broadly as we can to support as many women as we can, because financial abuse is really an insidious disease that this country is fighting. And we're just championing for all women who are in a financially abusive relationship to get out. And if you've endured one, to recover. So thank you so much. Happy New Year. I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to talking to you soon, hearing from you soon. Again, Sherry Lutz Harrington, Women Surviving and Strong Women Thriving. Have a great one.